Welcome everybody to today's webinar. It's going to be all about your applications, the way you could finance your studies here in Germany, and how to apply. So welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Ostfeld. I'm responsible for certain international partnerships. And today I'm going to tell you guys how you can plan and finance your stay for your studies in Germany. So let's get you started. This webinar is part of a series. We're actually going to finish it up today. So after hearing what's great about studying abroad, especially in Germany, and what RWTH Aachen University makes it stand out as a great option, and then after meeting certain people that are going to be here for you once you get to campus, well, now you've already deep dived into the different options and maybe you have taken your pick. So you actually know what kind of study program is right for you, for your interests and your skills. So today we see how you can be part of this year's batch. So let's get you started. You know about RWTH Aachen University and its International Academy at this point. So it's about further education at a university of excellence, which is also to be seen in the different rankings. But now, all of this is obviously good. You know it's a great choice, but you might be thinking, what will I actually gain by doing my master's degree at RWTH International Academy? As you have seen in the different information sessions, in the presentations, basically it's about your wage increase, the job security you might have once you studied here in Germany, advanced leadership and responsibilities, so you actually take your career to the next level. And you'll have career service, which means that there are people here who guide you through the different steps of how to find an internship and your job after graduation and connect you with the right people. So it's also a lot about a valuable network that you are going to create while you study 2 years of a master's degree program here in Aachen. Okay, so now have you found your perfect fit? You know that we have the different programs that you might apply for if you have a background in mechanical engineering, automation engineering, mechatronics, industrial engineering. All these different programs qualify you to take part in these 6 programs that are dark blue. I'm not going to go into detail for that. You can revise YouTube once we upload our session from the last time there. And if you're a civil engineer or maybe even an architect, you might want to look into resilient civil engineering. With any STEM background, you're welcome to apply first for the German Engineering College and then Battery Systems Engineering. In this case, it's obligatory to first see the 509 courses. And if you come from any kind of degree, well, you might be interested in focusing now on European studies, climate or digitalization, and have an overview of these different programs now. I'm pretty sure you've taken your pick by now, so let's dive into the details. You can see that the investment that you're going to have to make, yes, it's considerable, of course. And you'll also have to pay a semester fee for RWTH Aachen University, which means that you pay around 300 euros each semester, but obviously you get something out of it. These courses are really high profile, high end, so you'll definitely step out of here with a very valuable degree. And the semester fee includes the Deutschland ticket, which means that you can use any kind of public transportation here in Germany to move around, very flexible. And you can also make use of different discounts. Go to the theater, the cinema, and show your student ID card and therefore gain lower prices and make use of those. Plus, obviously, you'll have access to our libraries, the cafeteria, so different areas on campus, and the student associations. This might be interesting for you if you want to join maybe a robotics team or look into the different cars and racing teams that we have on campus, or even if you play an instrument and want to be part of our big band or the orchestra or a choir. All of these student associations are open for you to join and make the most of your stay in Germany. Now, how high are the living expenses here in Aachen? Obviously, this is only an estimation, so please beware of thinking this is exactly what I'm going to pay. No, it's just to give you an orientation and see, will help you to plan your finances. 1 month in Germany, especially in Aachen, with the rents we know here, could be around 800 euros if you share your flat, or a little bit more in case you decide to live on your own and invest a little bit more in the apartment that you yourself want to live in. So it's all about putting it together. You're obviously going to have expenses for your food and health insurance, which is something you need to have here in Germany. Also liability insurance, your cell phone, and then an internet and broadcasting tax. So these are the points that are definitely going to come up once you're here. And we have estimated this information for you. Now, you're also going to need a student visa in order to be able to travel here in the first place. And you need to make an appointment at a German embassy in your country and bring these different documents. So obviously your admission to your study program, the proof that you already have health insurance, we're going to help you with that, your CV, and English language certificate, because here with us, you're going to study in English. So there is no need to bring a German language certificate to this appointment with the embassy. Plus, they're always going to ask for some photographs. And in case you want to see more, the QR code leads you to a website to know more about visas for Germany. Actually, there's also something very important. You obviously need a valid passport to travel and proof of financial solvency. So this means that you have to show the embassy that you're going to finance yourself during your studies, that everything is going to be okay. And you can do that by showing maybe a very good scholarship that covers a lot of expenses, or if you already have a job contract to work as a student during your studies, or if you have a blocked account. And this blocked account needs to be around 1,000 euros per month for the first year of studies, because you're going to be granted a visa for the first year and then need to extend it. So obviously in your country, there might be something else you need to consider, like APS or other requirements. So please check those out depending where you're from. Okay, so obviously, I've mentioned scholarship. It's a very important point when you think about financing yourself. And we here at Ervita International Academy have different scholarships for you. So now I'm going to go through them and show you how you can be one of our scholarship awardees. There is the Women in Engineering Scholarship, which obviously you can apply for if you are a woman, and you get a partial tuition fee. So if you stand out as a woman in engineering and technology, if you can show us where you have maybe been active supporting women in engineering, then this is something we definitely want to support. And you can apply to that scholarship with the second motivation letter you hand in with your application. High Potential Student Grant is another scholarship that is also a partial tuition fee for you. And it depends a lot on your grades, but also another motivation letter where you show how you can be our ambassador and do something to make our programs more visible, maybe join us in a webinar session at some point. So this is how you can be a scholarship awardee for the High Potential Student Grant. And in case you come from one of the universities we collaborate with more intensively, like Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico, then you can apply for the Engineering Network Grant. In this QR code, you get to the Spanish website we have and find the details. This is also another motivation letter that you hand in where you show how you're going to support connecting our two institutions, and then you could receive this partial tuition free from our side. Usually it always means that the total fee is reduced by the percentage you receive because of the scholarship, and then this new fee is divided into 4 different sums. So at the beginning of each semester, you're going to pay the amount that you need to pay after receiving the scholarship. And here we have the Outstanding Performance Award. This is a very important scholarship because you can only be part of this scholarship if you participate in the German Engineering College before coming to the master's degree program. So the German Engineering College is something you do either online, or there are some concepts we have with cooperation universities where you even come to campus. But anyhow, it's basically about 5 online courses that you do between July and December, and then the year after, you come here on campus and start your master's degree. So in case you do that very successfully, you could become one of our scholarship holders and receive half of the tuition fee because you've been so successful. Obviously, we need to award something for that. And in case you come from an African country or Indonesia, Thailand, Iran, or Turkey, then you can apply for the Global Talent Scholarship, which reduces the fees around 35%. I have a colleague from the intake team in our chat room now, and I'm sure she's going to drop the link where you can see all the different scholarships in the chat. Now, there is one very special scholarship. We now have the European Excellence Fellowship that you can only apply for if you are a European candidate. In this case, European candidate means that you need to have a nationality from the EU. So in that case, you can apply until July 15th, and you can also apply to this scholarship. But beware, the quicker you are, the greater your chances to really receive this scholarship. It's a full scholarship. All the expenses for your tuition will be paid by us, and you need to show us your academic excellence. You're going to be able to see all the information on this special scholarship soon on our website. So please stay in contact. Maybe you want to send an email and over you say, hey, I'd like to be considered. Please give me an update whenever that's on the webpage, because we've just decided on that and you're lucky enough to already know about this. So this obviously means that if you are top performing, if you have really good grades and show us that you're internationally minded and maybe a future innovator, then you can become one of those scholarship holders. And please don't be shy. We always need you to apply to these scholarships because it would be such a shame if we wanted to give them out and nobody thinks they can do it. So please have a try. See if you can be one of those very special people for us. Now, at the RWTH Aachen University, you will also find a database for scholarships. The QR code leads you there. Maybe you want to take a screenshot for now. So you can always check that out and see what else you find. And the DAAD is the German Academic Exchange Service. So this means on their web pages, maybe even Googling it with your country, you will always find different scholarships. Sometimes they're really good and they pay all the living expenses and the flights for you. So really make sure to take a look at that. And this is an example. CECIT is a program, well, actually a secretaria in Mexico, but we have so many different options in the different countries. So make sure you in your country see if you find support from your government. There is Colfuturo in Colombia or Becas Sin Fronteras in other countries in Latin America, MARA in Malaysia, LPDP in Indonesia. So it's definitely worth having a look, looking at the different databases you find online and see what your country may offer you. So now, if you want to apply for one of our study programs, you need to do that until March 1st. So this means this Sunday, 1 minute before midnight in Germany, which might be earlier during the day in your country. So make sure you bear that in mind. The portal will close at midnight here. You can send in your applications. EU candidates, you have a little more time. And in this case, even if you have a German degree, you can apply until a little later and do not need a GRE test. So let's have a look. For all of you, what do you need to hand in to really apply for your favorite study program? Together with your university, you should prepare your transcript of records in English, module descriptions. Sometimes this is a really big document and a lot of pages, so make sure that you have these in English. A lot of universities supply you with maybe a link where you can just send us the link. In a document, of course, you need to upload PDFs in our portal, and then we can look into those course descriptions. But in case you only have that in your native tongue, then, and it might be a little too expensive to bring it to an official translator and have it translated to English or German, because that is valid for all of our documents. We need everything as an official translation or original in English. Well, in that case, we could make an exception in the sense that you send your original module descriptions and a translation that you made with an online tool, and tell us that you've done that with this certain online tool, and then we can compare and see if it's enough. Otherwise, we would get in contact and see what else you can show us so that we can really understand what you've been studying up to now. You're also going to need to hand in 2 letters of recommendation, and you can do that either asking an employer for this kind of certificate, or maybe a professor, a teacher at your university. So the QR code you see right now leads you to our website where it says Your Way to Us, and you find all this information I'm going to detail on right now online. Now, you're also going to need to prove your work experience. By the time you apply, so now March 1st, you need to show us that you've been working for 6 months, and it could have been maybe a student job, maybe internships, maybe even work after graduation. So we're going to recognize all of it as long as it has something to do with your study program. So in case you've been the best bartender, congratulations, but that won't be valid for this case. You're also going to need to show us 12 months of work experience by the time you enroll, which means by the end of September, October. The official date is the 31st of October. So by then you should definitely have enough months of work experience to show us. And here's a little secret. Here in Aachen, we count the days. So as long as you have a document that says when you started, when you ended this practical experience, then we can work with that. Obviously, you need to also include your role, maybe your responsibilities. The more detailed your information, the better for us. And of course, an official signature should be included by the supervisor or HR who has given this certificate to you. But there is an alternative. In case you're still working with someone and you don't want to ask them for this kind of certificate, you might include your current employment contract. And then you just gray out the areas that are more sensible, like no one wants to know what you've been gaining. Your salary can be hidden from us, but you can hand this in. Again, you need to have an official English translation. Okay, so now let's look into your personality. Since we obviously choose our candidates here wisely and really want to have great batches here in Aachen, it's also a lot about who you are. So show in your motivation letter what makes you unique, your academic profile, what you bring to the table when you study here with us. And you can do that by showing some examples and really including your personal stories where you've been learning something, applying something from what you've been seeing at university and what you maybe want to do with all of that in the future. So make sure you know what program you're applying for, that this is RWTH International Academy, the institution for further education at RWTH Aachen University. So all of these details should obviously be there in your motivation letter so that we know you've actually seen what you're applying for. And for the scholarships, I've mentioned already, you need to hand in an extra motivation letter. It could be various letters. You can see that. Obviously, you can vary them just a little and always adjust them to the different scholarships. That way, we have everything we need to see which one we can grant to you. And we need a CV from your side, also in English. Now, you can choose between the GRE test and the German Engineering College, which we also call GEC. For the EU candidates, you guys are lucky. You don't need any of that. Non-EU candidates need a GRE test or the German Engineering College. And if you're from Europe, then you can just ignore that part for the application. But make sure that for the Battery Systems Engineering Master, you always first participate in the German Engineering College. There's no way around that. The GRE scores you need are on this slide, and you always need them except if you apply for Resilient Civil Engineering or the MPA European Studies. Now, here's a side note. Since March 1st is around the corner and you might not have the time to take this test in time and send us the results, bear in mind, it always takes around 7, maybe 10 days to receive the results of that test. You can find all those testing centers online. I think that it's called ECT, the website where you can do that. It's the same institution that also takes the TOEFL test, the English test. So you should now at least reserve the test date, the date where you want to take that exam, and then you send in this reservation with your application, and we know, okay, he or she is handling it, and we will wait for your results, which you can send in via email afterwards and still see all the details of your application, which will be on hold. So obviously you cannot get an admission without this admission requirement, but at least you're in the pool and you could make it and receive actually your admission. The German Engineering College is the alternative. It has a lot of advantages because you don't have to fear it conditional admission, but we're going to look at that in a minute. So this is a moment for a screenshot. Please keep this information all on one slide for you. This is basically everything I've just mentioned. And then the question is, once you do have a study place here and you come here, what else is there? How can you finance your stay once you're in Germany? Here at RWTH Aachen University and the International Academy, actually, we have some more scholarships, some more grants for you that you can only apply for once you're part of the program. So there would be the Outstanding Academic Performance Award. Every semester, every year, we look into the grades of everyone, and you can apply for this financial aid and obviously this high honor and recognition that you receive. And you could also be supported with a German language course in case you want to do that. You can apply for it. And beyond what is included in your curricula, you can keep learning German, and we help you financing it with this German language merit scholarship. For students who contribute to communal or creative commitments, we also have a social responsibility award. So all of these will be announced to you once you're already here and see the conditions and the details to apply for those. So, would you like to work during your studies? That could be an option. Here in Germany, when you have a student visa, you can be working for maximum 20 hours per week. There are some exceptions, like when we have a break between semesters, you can even do a full working hour of 40 hours, full working week. And with that contribution, you obviously have a good salary to finance everything that you need. And we recommend you to only look for a student job once the first semester has passed. So you can actually come here, get all the orientation you need, find your friends, find all the people that support you, find your way around and meet all the different professors. And then once you're settled in and feel at home, that's when you can start taking on this extra responsibility. It's obviously a great opportunity to dive more into what the different institutes of RWTH Aachen University are researching on, but you could also find a student job in the industry. Right now, I can tell you that we are at 14.59 euros that you receive per hour as a working student with your bachelor's degree at this university. So now you can calculate. There are a lot of jobs that start with 8 or 10 hours per week, and then you can see what comes out of that by the end of the month. You usually don't need to pay a lot of taxes. Yes, your health insurance, I've mentioned that, but it's really, really wonderful that as a student, basically what you work for is yours. So now your next steps are these. Register at the application portal. You can do that today. It's called RWTH Online. Maybe my colleague can put this link into the chat room. You can watch our how to apply video tutorial on YouTube. In case you get stuck in the portal, then we have all the different clicks and even a PDF that shows you how to do that. So you can always choose the right option for your background. And then obviously submit your master's application by midnight in Germany on March 1st. So in case you are still thinking about this, you don't want to be here in September, October, there is the German Engineering College to prepare all of this a little more in advance. So I've mentioned the program. This is for you to secure your study place and really be one of our VIPs who have secured their place. You only need to take 5 online courses and can also apply for different scholarships. So basically, you eliminate the risk of a conditional admission, which would imply that you have to see 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 courses that are additional to what you're going to see in your master's degree. And those have a cost between 500 and 1,000 euros. And those are also obviously going to imply that you have to work a little more during the semester. So it's really, really a more relaxed situation when you do not have to do that. Plus, you do not need the GRE test if you opt for the German Engineering College, and you can gain those special scholarships like the Outstanding Performance Award and receive half of the tuition fees. So in case you want to do that, then this is the QR code on how to apply for the German Engineering College and start the process now to start this program online in July. And then, of course, it's time to welcome you here on campus for your master's degree program. Be it this year or next year after the GEC, we will obviously throw you a party, show you around, make sure you even get in contact with some enterprises right at the beginning and make your network grow. So this has been our From Dream to Degree Master Your Future in Germany webinar series. You can actually see the different webinars afterwards online on our YouTube channel. Some of those are already uploaded. And always bear in mind the application date, which is March 1st, or as a UU candidate, July 15th. Now, there are going to be more webinars on the different master's degree programs, and you're obviously welcome to join. So make sure you find your program and be there on that day. The RCE has already been presented, so you can ask for that link via email. And the QR code you see right now and on the next slides helps you to leave your email address in case you want to receive information on the program you most like or have a certain question we can resolve with an email. There will be some more info sessions. You will always have a webinar that's called Next Steps After Admission. Once you receive your admission, there will be sessions with our student success managers, and you can ask current students. So you always know about all the advice and consultation we have, the career service and honors, and also know about how to make sure your health insurance and your well-being is taken care of. So this was it. You can always contact us here in Aachen. We are very happy to get in contact and answer your particular questions. And thank you so much for joining this session today. Bye-bye.